Picture cult member. Most people imagine someone weak or clueless. That stereotype is comforting. It's also wrong. The real danger is that the tactics work on normal people, especially when they're stressed, lonely, ambitious, or searching. Today I'm breaking down the 3-step playbook used by high-control leaders. Hook, isolate, and overwrite a person's reality. By the end, you'll have a checklist you can use in real life. At the core of every high-control group is a leader who sells themselves as the only safe interpreter of what's true. This leader offers a path to some ultimate salvation, spiritual enlightenment, financial freedom, or even survival of the apocalypse. To pull this off, they build a myth around themselves, often driven by a mix of traits common in exploitative leaders. Grandiosity, a bottomless need for admiration, and a stunning lack of empathy. This vision of themselves is wrapped in a captivating charisma that pulls people in. They seem energetic, insightful, and unbelievably confident. But that charisma is a tool used to create an emotional bond that will be exploited later. It creates the illusion that they have the answers and you don't. The real danger is how they use that power. Criticize them, and you're not just disagreeing, you're persecuting them. Ask a tough question, and it's not curiosity, it's a sign of your own spiritual failure. By making themselves the ultimate source of validation, they begin to systematically tear down your ability to trust your own judgment. Our first stop is Jim Jones and the People's Temple. Jones preached a powerful message of racial equality and social justice, attracting thousands of idealistic people who wanted to build a better world. People described him as an unusually charismatic speaker. His followers weren't looking to be controlled. They were inspired by a utopian dream and believed in him. But Jones used his platform to create extreme dependency. He framed giving up homes and life savings as a necessary sacrifice for the cause. He built an environment of constant surveillance, encouraging members to report on each other, making it feel like there was no private life left. When everyone is a potential informant, trust collapses. If anyone stepped out of line, he would use their deepest fears, collected from them in confessions and private disclosures, to humiliate them publicly. This is classic dependency engineering. Break autonomy, then replace it with you. By the time Jones moved his followers to the isolated jungles of Jonestown, he had achieved total control. His followers, many of them smart, socially conscious people, were trapped inside a world he had built, which ended in the deaths of over 900 people, many coerced or outright murdered. This is the terrifying end point, when a leader becomes the sole gatekeeper to salvation. The most effective tactic in the playbook is the love bomb. When a potential recruit first appears, they are showered with affection, praise, and an instant sense of belonging. Love bombing isn't kindness. It's a down payment that makes later control feel like something you owe them. This is targeted manipulation. Coercive groups look for people who are ritual often, those in a period of transition or stress. Grief, divorce, a move, a career, still anything that makes you question who you are. These are the moments when our human needs for belonging and purpose are at their peak, and these groups position themselves as the answer. This is why intelligent and successful people can be vulnerable, how achievers often tie their self-worth to their accomplishments. So a career setback or a nagging feeling of "is this all there is?" can create a painful void. When a charismatic group says, "We see you, you belong with us, we have the answers," the relief can be overwhelming. Intelligence doesn't protect you from loneliness or the need to belong. Sometimes it just makes you better at explaining away the red flag. Our second case is Keith Raniere, an NXIVM, marketed as Elite Executive Success Programs. NXIVM attracted Hollywood actors, CEOs, and an heiress to the Seagram's fortune. These were accomplished, ambitious people looking for the next level of growth. Raniere, who called himself Vanguard, was a master of the love bomb. New members were welcomed into a community that felt incredibly supportive and intellectually challenging, with Raniere himself grooming followers by making them feel uniquely understood. Once a person was emotionally hooked, the isolation began. Raniere built an us versus them narrative. Friends or family who raised concerns were dismissed as toxic. Members were gradually cut off from outside support, leaving them dependent on the group. Raniere then used depletion, low sleep, constant activity, food restriction, and social pressure, anything that makes clear thinking expensive. Inside his secret inner circle, DOS, he used humiliation to maintain a staged obedience system backed by blackmail. Members had to provide collateral damaging secrets, nude photos, or statements they could use to destroy their life to ensure compliance. NXIVM is a chilling example of how love bombing can trap even the brightest minds, turning a search for meaning into a prison. After the hook and the cutoff, the goal changes. They stop trying to recruit you and start trying to replace you. Leaders who are reality architects don't just ask you to believe them. They systematically dismantle your ability to think for yourself. They create a closed, logical system where only the group's doctrine is true. First is environmental control, where the leader dictates every part of your life: what you eat, who you talk to, how you spend your time. Second is thought stopping, where complex problems are boiled down to simplistic, loaded catchphrases. Doubts aren't for exploring. They're to be shut down with chanting or repetitive work. Gaslighting becomes routine. You remember it one way. They insist you misunderstood. You're being negative. You're in your ego. After enough rounds, you stop trusting your memory. This whole process creates identity erosion, where your individual personality is scraped away and replaced with a new, group-approved one. You adopt the group's slang, mannerisms, and beliefs until the old you fades away. Our final case is Marsha Applewhite and Heaven's Gate. Applewhite and Bonnie, Nettles, Dew, and Tea convinced followers they were aliens sent to help a chosen few ascend to a literal kingdom in space. The control was absolute. To prepare, followers had to erase their human identity. They wore matching uniforms, had identical haircuts, and were given new names, forbidden from contacting family. Applewhite dictated even the smallest details, creating a web of rules that kept followers focused on compliance. Sex was banned, and several male members, including Applewhite, were voluntarily castrated to reach a higher state of purity. Applewhite's language was designed for thostopin. Human bodies were vehicles. Dying was leaving the vehicle. This sterile language made suicide sound like a logical step in a cosmic plan. When the Hale-Bopp comet appeared in 1997, Applewhite announced it was the sign. A craft was coming with it to pick them up. Believing this completely, 39 members packed their bags, took a lethal cocktail, and left their vehicles, convinced they were graduating to a higher existence. Heaven's Gate is a haunting reminder of how a skilled manipulator can build an entirely new reality that people will embrace, even to the point of death. The stories of Jim Jones, Keith Raniere, and Marshall Applewhite aren't just bizarre tales. They are case studies in a predictable pattern of psychological manipulation. It's a playbook. It starts with a charismatic leader claiming to be the sole keeper of truth. It continues by targeting our need for belonging, using love bombing to trap people when they're vulnerable. And it ends with a total reconstruction of reality through isolation, thought stopping, and identity erosion. The most uncomfortable truth is that the vulnerabilities these leaders exploit aren't weaknesses. They're part of what makes us human. Our desire for purpose, our need for connection, and our search for answers. Intelligence doesn't make you immune. In fact, a sharp mind can become a powerful tool for rationalizing your commitment long after the red flags have started wavering. Understanding this playbook is the most important step toward protecting yourself. It's about spotting the process, not just the beliefs. Here's the checklist. If you hear these patterns, pay attention. Only we have the truth. Questions mean you're broken. Outsiders are unsafe by definition. Confess, disclose, provide collateral. Learn our language. Stop using yours. Stay busy. Stay tired. Stay compliant. Leaving equals betrayal. When you feel that pull, do 3 things. Slow down decisions. Keep outside relationships active. And ask for verifiable claims. Urgency is a control tactic. Any group that punishes, that is telling on itself. Any system that punishes, questions, and rewards obedience is running the same software. If you've seen any of those checklist moves in the wild workplace, relationship, communicated, drop the example in the comments below. And if you found this breakdown valuable, please like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden forces that shape our behavior.